Hello and welcome to the TML Talk Game Day Skate. We see only one goaltender on the ice right now, and that looks to be James Reimer. However, that means, what does that mean? Because it
means that Mark Osborne and Bob McGill will not be in net for the Maple Leafs tonight, but you would suspect Ben Scrivens would get the call tonight. Ben's, he's not played himself out of being in the mix here as far as goaltenders go. It's not as if he's had a bad run. I think there's... without a flat-out admission, people would like to see James Reimer run with the #1 role here and lead the club, as was, the speculation coming into the season. But, right here, right now, it's the right time, I think, to put Ben Scrivens back in. Bob?
Well, third game in 4 nights for this team, and, is Reimer tired? Well, he's out here today, so I don't know. It's one of those things. I think a goaltender wants to play every game, and why shouldn't he? I mean, Glenn Hall played 500 games in a row. Like, why not, eh? But, you know what? It is a situation where, obviously, Ben Scrivens, you got to keep him sharp, and you've got a club here that's coming into this game tonight in the Florida Panthers, obviously only having won 2 in their last 10 hockey games. But you need a goaltender to be sharp here tonight. Ben Scrivens, as you said, Dan, he's not that he's played poorly, but let's face facts that he hasn't had a victory since the 25th of February. So he's got to come back and certainly backstop this club here tonight and get back onto the winning track after not coming up with the 2 points last night.
All sorts of talk coming out of Boston last night. What are the Leafs going to do with that top line? Well, over the course, it's not an 82-game season, but it's a 48-game season. There are going to be highs and lows, and no, they didn't play particularly well against Boston, but you could come out and see that line rip it up here tonight. Listening to Randy Carlyle's comments as to what his club has to do in terms of getting a bounce-back game from the top line, somewhat vague, but you can also read between the lines that when a group of players or player has a rough game, he is apt not to put them in the press box, but to go right back at with them and see if they can succeed. And you could very well see a James Van Riemsdyk, Phil Kessel, Tyler Bozak rebounding here tonight with a very big game for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And so it's going to be interesting. This is an opponent not to be tinkered with in terms of letdown. They're a young team. They're not playing for anything else except for jobs next year. And they've played very well defensively as of late, as is their goaltender Jakob Markstrom. And I expect this is going to be a tough game, as back-to-back games always are for the Maple Leafs.
Well, we talk about the tough being the schedule part, right? So a shortened season means more injuries sometimes, or more frequent injuries, you could say. And the Florida Panthers are facing a lot of injuries right now.
Every team is. And, I came down the elevator in Boston last night. There's Chris Kelly, McQuaid, Johnny Boychuk. I mean, 3 key pieces. And, we're chatting on the way down, and no excuses from them. Every team goes through them. We just talked to Joffrey Lupul moments ago. Joffrey missed 8 weeks of the season. So every team is subjected to it. We know what Ottawa's gone through. And I don't even think it's an excuse anymore. But for Florida, yes, they've lost some key players. So it's time for others to step up, and we'll get a chance to see some outstanding young men. Oakville native Sean Matthias sporting a really gorgeous-looking black eye. Jonathan Huberdeau as well. We can go on and on. And Markstrom, the second-year player who looks like he's going to get the start here in nets tonight. So it's a chance to showcase some other talents, and as far as the Leafs are concerned, this is an absolute must win, given the 4 points they've left on the table and 4 shootout losses coming into this game here tonight.
You can watch the game tonight, 7 p.m., Florida Panthers, Toronto Maple Leafs on Sportsnet. Of course, you can join us here on Leafs TV for Gate 5 Live, the Molson Canadian Leafs Nation pregame show, all starting at 6 p.m. right here on Leafs TV.